Ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest that you perhaps do not know because he does not create YouTube content. However, if you go on X or Twitter, however you want to call it, and look at his account there, you're going to find an amazing, amazing collector within the hobby. His name is Stephen Benzel. Stephen, thank you for coming on and accepting this invitation.
It's a great honor, Victor. This is long overdue. We should have done this a long time ago.
And as I looked at your account and look at your post, because I immediately started following you, I noticed that you are a strong advocate or defender of the true rookie card.
Yeah.
And I think we're cut from the same cloth. And you've done quite a bit of study yourself on the topic of the rookie card. And when I read one of your articles, I was like, I have to have this guy on. And when I see you on X as I do these weekly rookie card reports, I always see your posts, and it's very thought provoking, very challenging, but a strong advocate of the rookie card you are. And thank you for that. I think we need more of that in the hobby.
I agree.
But I do want to get into a little bit. You are a collector of the Chicago Cubs. Tell me your passion about that.
Yeah. So I've just got the collector gene. If you're a collector, you have to collect. It's more like a mental illness than a hobby. And so, when I was a kid, I collected, toys. Garbage Pail Kids was probably my first card collection I had from the 80s. But in the early 90s, I started following baseball and following the Cubs. WGN was what drew me to the Cubs. They were on TV all the time. And I had a friend who was already collecting baseball cards. He was a Yankees fan. And so once he found out that I was like into baseball, I was like, all right, well, you gotta get some cards. And so, early on, it wasn't just Cubs stuff. I would just collect, general MLB stuff. And I was into Frank Thomas early on in the 90s. That was someone who I collected. And my story's kind of similar to yours, I think, because I collected real heavy through the 90s. And I was never like a dealer. I've never been in the business of the hobby, just always been a collector. But then I took a break. Like I hit my mid-20s, got married, started a family, had no money, and so couldn't afford to buy baseball cards anymore. So it just took maybe 10 to 15 years off. And then somewhere around 2014 or so, probably earlier than that, probably about 2012, I started to get slowly back into it. What happened in 2014 was when I really discovered Anthony Rizzo.
Okay.
And there was this game in Cincinnati that I was at where Aroldis Chapman threw at one of the Cubs players, and Rizzo got mad about it. And so the next inning, when he was walking to first base and they were jawing at him, he went to the dugout. He's like, "Come on, I'll take all y'all on." Like I just fell in love with the dude. And so at that point, I started collecting really heavy. And then a year or two later is when Ernie Banks passed away. And so there was something about that where I'm like, I kind of had a good Cubs collection, but it wasn't comprehensive by any means. So I started really diving deep into the history of the Cubs, because most Cubs fans go back to Ernie Banks and then stop. There's nothing happened before then. They might know Tinker, Evers, and Chance from the 1907-08 World Series. But I just discovered there's this rich history of all these players I'd never even really paid attention to, like Gabby Hartnett and Kai Kyler and Hack Wilson. There's a guy named Hippo Vaughn. It doesn't get any better than that. What a great baseball name, Hippo Vaughn. And so I just really enjoyed learning the history of the Cubs and learning the history of the hobby at the same time, because I had to really get to know all that old stuff. You come up in the hobby, you learn, what T206 is, what Gowdy is, you might know what Old Judge is from the 19th century, but there's so much more going on in there, and it's a really fun part of the hobby, that era. I've just really enjoyed diving into it.
Yeah. Now tell me a little bit about this wall display in the back. You basically posted on that on X, but that is a beautiful backdrop.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
That is my Cubs gallery. There's no cards up there. There's actually one uncut sheet of post serial up there. So I guess there are some cards up there. This is all like flat stuff. This is old pictures. This is pennants. This is advertisements from the 1930s. This is the Chicago Tribune report on the Cubs finally winning the World Series. That catcher's mask you see there, one of the stars of the Cubs from the 1930s was Gabby Hartnett, and he was a big deal. He had his own line of junior baseball gear that had his name on it, and that's from 1933, an old junior size catcher's mask with Gabby Hartnett's name on it. So just some random fun Cub stuff from 1890 to 2025.
Yeah, and in your post, you have detailed photos of each thing, and you really gave a nice write up as to how you curated all of that and put it together. But what an amazing backdrop, man.
Thanks.
I do know you're being a little modest about your collection, because your collection is vast. It goes from early pre-war all the way through to current day. I seen one post here recently where you have like 100 or over 100 Anthony Rizzo one-of-ones.
Yeah, that's a little out of date. I think I'm up to at least 115 now. Yeah, something like that.
115. That is amazing.
Yeah.
You probably cornered the market on the one-of-ones, I would assume.
Right. Well, as you know, there are way too many one-of-ones out there, so they're not hard to come by, but they can't get pricey though. That's for sure.
Why do you think? Why do you think nobody picked up Rizzo? That's just the oddest thing to me.
Yeah, I got in early. So I started collecting them pretty heavy even before they won the World Series.
Yeah.
And so I was able to get a lot of like pretty big stuff before he got super popular. I've got a handful of like one-of-one rookie year cards. And so notice I said rookie year cards and not rookie cards. I've got like the authentic diamond Topps update from 2011, the Bowman Chrome Superfractor, but I got the Bowman Chrome Superfractor. That one came later. I had to pay for that one, but a lot of this stuff I was able to get in before Rizzo and Bryant and the crew just took off in 2016 and 2017. Yeah, it was, prices shot up pretty quick, and then as you know, settled down a little bit over the years.
Okay, I do want to touch on a couple of things. I want to start with this article here, where Topps featured you in an article. Tell us a little bit about this here.
Yeah, there was just this guy from Topps named Greg Bates messaged me on Twitter, and he had followed me at some point and just was paying attention to all the Cub stuff I was posting all the time. They were doing a series of stories about individual team collectors, and they were trying to pick one guy per team. I don't know how far they went with that. I don't know if they did all the teams or not, but he wanted to pick me for the Cubs, and he just called me. We did a short little interview. I sent him some pictures, and it was really fun. It was I had been building this collection for years at that point, over a decade, like really serious going into it, and it felt like someone paid attention, like someone else thinks this is as cool as I do. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
And there's two things I like about this article. The first one is actually on Topps website. Now I'll leave a link to this article if somebody wants to see it. They'll have access to it. But also, I hear a lot of people ripping on Topps for not paying attention to the collector and not showcasing player collections.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't say that when I look at this article here that they did on your collection. I mean, they are paying attention. They are reaching out. And they are featuring collectors in their collections. We're just not finding it. So I don't know if it's a marketing thing, perhaps on Topps side of things, or we're not paying attention to their website. But I see what they did here for you, and mutual friend Bo of 1 Million Cubs. They made a superfractor for him this year.
I know, right?
That's
as good as it gets.
Yeah, that's about as good as it gets. But here, what a fantastic article! Congratulations on that, man.
And to your point, I was paying a lot of attention to Topps ripped this website at the time when they were doing my thing, but I can't remember a single article published since then. So it's either on me for not paying attention, or they're not marketing it properly, and probably a mix of the both, because I like this stuff. Like, it's fun to read about the way other people collect. You can learn a lot from other collectors for sure.
Exactly. And I also wanted to showcase this article because this is an article that you wrote on the short history of the rookie card, 1887 through 2022. And here you give an excellent presentation on the topic of the rookie card. And you started with, you did it on each era, and you started with pre-war. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't read this article until today, Stephen, and I find I was just awesome. Our thinking is on the topic of pre-war.
Mm-hmm.
And here you've done an excellent job that I want to showcase, and I want to extract a few points from it as we move along on the interview. You ready to get started on the pre-war rookie cards?
Well, let's do it. The unfortunate, I really loved this picture in the beginning, because it's this progression from old to new. It's just a shame that last card isn't quite as cool as it used to be.
That's so true. I didn't notice that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh well.
Ben, that set caused us ruckus in the hobby.
I should change it to Bobby Witt or Julio Rodriguez at this point.
Yeah,
they were in that set too.
Yeah, they were. But yeah, let's. I want to get into it. We're going to go through the questions that I've been asking everyone else. So we're basically getting your opinion on the same topics. But you mentioned in the article, and it's probably worth reiterating, but we're not going to get in the weeds on it. But you seem to think that a rookie card in the pre-war era should be a sports card.
Yeah,
You
as
agree with
opposed,
that?
yeah, for sure, as opposed to like part of some other mixed set or something like that. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, yeah. Or like other things like a photograph. How do you feel about photographs?
Yeah, no, 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 not right. It needs to look like a baseball. Just um, my personal preference. It's hard to like nail down the stuff. This is the rule, but there we can get close. Anywhere between like a T206 tobacco card that size,
Mhm.
all the way up, maybe even to a postcard. I make an exception for like those old exhibit cards. I don't know if you're familiar with those or not, because they're postcard size, but they weren't really made to be postcards. Some of them had a postcard back, but they actually came out of machines. They were randomly distributed through a little machine. You put a penny in, and it would spit out a card. You didn't know it was good. But yeah, I don't want a big 8x10 piece of paper. I don't want like a pin or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's gotta look like a baseball. And a lot of that stuff was like big pieces of cardboard that people would send away in the mail with a picture of it, and you got to choose the baseball player. It wasn't random. Like that's not really what a baseball card is for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I know, I have a problem with the exhibits in the aspect of, there was a segment of time there between the mid 20s and early 30s where they actually did have postcards. They were actually created
Yep.
as postcards.
Yep.
I don't view postcards because I'm looking at it as what is the intent of that
Mhm.
card? And the intent to me, it needs to be a collectible, not a postcard. And,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then
I agree for the most part.
yeah, and then I get into they'll have like certain cards printed between the 19 like 2 or 3 years. They'll print like the same run
Hmm.
and release them, and I just have an issue with that. But the biggest thing that I have with exhibits is that it's they also included exhibits of actors and
Yeah.
musicians, and so it was like a hodgepodge of like multi-sport. You didn't know
Mhm.
what you were getting when you were putting your penny in the vending machine type of thing.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
agree. It's definitely a gray area.
yeah,
Yeah, I probably what compelled me to even consider them was the 1925 set, because that I don't know what it is. It just feels like that's Lou Gehrig's rookie card to me. It's that one and not the Gowdy.
yeah,
And so, and people, it's heavily collected. Obviously, I mean that's a big time card. And
that's
there's a big cub in that set too. Kai Kyler, that was his first card in 25 exhibits. And so, that's not a hill I'm going to die on. I kind of like them. I think they're cool. But I definitely see your point. It's definitely a gray area.
yeah, yeah, yeah. How about stamps and that sort of thing? Anything with an adhesive back?
Nah, stickers is another gray area. If it was released like the old Panini stickers,
Mhm.
I think there's a Muhammad Ali Panini sticker. His rookie card, very debatable. We know what that is.
Yeah,
Um, as long as the sticker is like on kind of a card thing, and if it's distributed like a baseball card, I mean, I can live with that. But no, if it's just a postage stamp, then I'm not. I mean, it's a cool collectible, but no, it doesn't. It's not a baseball card.
this era is so full of inconsistencies, isn't it?
Yeah, and weird stuff. Like there's just odd things that were released. Yeah.
And when it comes down to like distribution or some type of like set structure, uh, licensing,
Mhm.
it is so extremely difficult to pinpoint
Yeah.
what. But like you said, I think we can get close, and
Mhm.
there's a lot of different viewpoints of what is a rookie card in pre-war era.
Right.
I'm just trying to establish mine. I'm
Mhm.
not trying to like change the world or anything. But
Yeah.
but
No,
my
I
thing,
agree.
I'm trying to understand it for myself. It's an area that I've always kind of ignored or neglected, and for me, it's just time for me to tackle
Mhm.
this area.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
moving on, I want to get into like, and you brought it up here in your article. As I'm gonna share it again because it's a good point for where we're headed. But you had made mention of premier sets, what you seem to think are legitimate sets here. Tell me a little bit about what you were thinking when you made this list.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't claim that this is the complete exhaustive list.
Okay.
Um, just knowing, I know a lot about each of the sets on here, how they were distributed, what the checklist looks like, and you know, these sets obviously are different from 1952 tops and everything after that, but I just look for some common themes that run throughout the history of the baseball card, basically, like what ties all this history together. Like, can we come up with some rules that works for the 19th century and 2025? I mean, that's a tall task, but all of these sets are like they're Major League Baseball sets. You know, they include Major League Baseball players and like a complete picture of the major leagues. In other words, they're not team sets, they're not regional sets. There are many, if not all, the teams represented in these sets, and all of these were distributed randomly. Random distribution is a big thing for me. Like that's just the DNA of a baseball card. You open up a pack of Tops, or you open up a pack of cigarettes in 1887, and you know there's a card in there, but you don't know which one it is. And I think that's just part of the hobby. I think that not to say that cards that aren't sent out that way don't count as baseball cards, but they're not a baseball card in the purest sense. And so all of these were either issued with gum or tobacco or caramel or whatever. And so they just kind of meet my criteria for what a pure baseball card is, and therefore, because they meet that, they can be rookie cards.
So, in your opinion, this list is basically what you would consider widely distributed.
Yeah, and that's another thing, because widely distributed in 2025 is way different than 1925,
Right.
and so I think I'm willing to say widely distributed is just not regional. Like, it wasn't only issued in Chicago or New York or whatever,
Right.
and it wasn't only one team. But some of these sets are really rare. I tried my views on this have evolved over the years since I wrote this article. I try to like create this line between common rookie cards and rare rookie cards.
We were going to go there next, but
Yeah.
let's roll with it.
Yeah.
The article, you kind of split it up as there's a difference between a common rookie card and a rare rookie card. But then you created an update about 8 weeks ago to the article, and you kind of like changed your tune a little bit.
Yeah, and it's just the reason for that is because if you're trying to collect, say, Frank Chance's rookie card. Frank Chance was a big Cub star in the early part of the 20th century, 2 World Series wins, and he was one of my favorite Cubs of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you just find the first baseball card set he's in that was a major league set, randomly distributed, that's a set called 1903 Bryce Williams, and the code is E107. That's the code for the set. Yeah. So Frank Chance, 1903 Bryce Williams. It's a cool set. You know, it's early Cy Young, early Honus Wagner. You know, big time cards in that set, hugely valuable. But his total pop for that set between PSA and SGC is 1. Like, there's exactly 1 card graded.
Exactly.
And so and if I want to go find Frank Chance's rookie card, that's what I have to chase, unless you like make some concessions. Like, well, we can say that's like the real rookie card, that's the rare one, but can we at least identify a handful of them that are a little easier to find? And PSA does this. PSA will do this for their registry sets. Okay. If you're trying to find some vintage pre-war rookie cards, they're not going to make you find the Pop 1 from 1903. They'll let you pick them from T206. I mean, T206 isn't common by any means, but there's a lot more of those than there is those other cards. And that was the reason I went that direction and just tried to make that distinction.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I love the common versus the rare rookie card. That is, and I have come to the determination this week with pre-war, because I'm a big advocate of the true rookie card, and I've kind of like created a system, and I've defined what a true rookie card is to me and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I cannot carry that definition of a true rookie card over to the pre-war era.
Right.
So I would not call anything in the pre-war era a true rookie card.
Not by the 10 Commandments. It's not. Yeah, for sure.
Oh my goodness, you remember the 10 Commandments. But I do want to bring attention to this one sentence that you wrote right here, and I highlighted it. But the very last sentence you said PSA uses a much more liberal definition for their set registries, which I think is appropriate, but the true collector definition of a pre-war rookie card should focus on the nature of the set and not the rarity.
Yeah.
Now, that really rung my bell, because so much of today's hobby focuses so much on rarity.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's only one in existence, that's the best thing in the world. It's like, I have it and you don't, and na. You know what I'm saying? And it's selfish, I think. And that's how come I have an issue with your example here of Frank Chance's rookie card.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the spirit of what Dr. Beckett has always preached over the decades, and that is that a collector should have a fair and equal chance at owning the card.
Right.
And that's kind of your concept of a common rookie card. Mm-hmm. So for Frank Chance, what is the common rookie card for Frank?
Well, it kind of depends on how you how you define it, how you delineate your terms. But I think the fair way to all collectors, you want to get Frank Chance's rookie card, anything from 1909, in my opinion, would qualify as a common rookie card for Frank Chance. So you've got you've got the first run, the 1909 run of T206. That's 4 different sets. You've got a set called Ramley. There's an American Caramel set. And so they're still hard to find. They're still expensive. They're over 100 years old. But you're talking about populations in the hundreds instead of single digits. And that really opens it up a whole lot more. Not to mention all the ungraded copies that are still out there in the world that you can hunt down and send off to PSA if you want to. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. That really opens it up. And yeah, if there's only one or even just a handful, 10 of a rookie card of a player, well, that doesn't do anybody any good. Like, that's not any fun. And so, however, if I owned a copy of that 1903 Bryce Williams, I would absolutely say, no, this is the true rookie card. None of the other ones count.
Right. It's all whichever one you're holding in your hand, right?
That's right. But I think the last one sold for $50,000 at auction, so I missed out on that one.
Wow. So I love this concept, Stephen. I got to be honest. You make a really strong case. You've done some amazing homework here in what I call this is what I'm looking for, and that is lines of clarity. Establishing certain lines of clarity that's going to help me understand and wrap my head around what is a rookie card in the pre-war era, and this common versus rare rookie card to me. But good work on that. I might steal it, but I'm going to give you proper attributes.
So it's all yours, man. This is a team effort, right? We're all in this together.
That's the goal here. That's what I'm trying to do. You also made mention that I found very, very interesting, and that is in set composition. You mentioned you have a formula in the article, and I will leave the article for our viewers so they can take a look at that as well. But you made mention that you come up with this formula because a set shouldn't have a very low numbered cards, right. A number of cards, and explain that to us a little bit.
Yeah. There's some old sets, especially from the early part of the 19th century, that will have a checklist of like 15 or 20 cards on it. And they're cool sets, they're popular sets, but it's not really a Major League Baseball set. It's not really a picture of what baseball looked like at the time. And so I wanted to establish some limit, like, well, it's got to at least have this many cards. And I actually worked backwards. Like, I said, well, what would I consider a true comprehensive MLB set now? And I thought, well, it's got to have at least 100 cards. That's what I come up with. And so then I look, well, how many teams are there in Major League Baseball? And so there's 30, right? Yeah, I think it's 30 teams in MLB right now. And so I was like, all right, well, however many teams there are times 3. That's how big the set needs to be. And I just rounded up to for 100 there. And so back in the early 20th century, there were 16 teams. And so that works out to like a 48 card set. And I can't remember which set it is, but there's one set that had exactly 48 and just got in under the wire. And it was a popular set. So I was glad that worked out. But yeah, I just like when we say, one of the things, the rules of the rookie cards, like it's a base card and a Major League Baseball set. And I just think there's some sort of definition of Major League Baseball card set that we need to settle on. And I guess that's just where I landed. Yeah, just sort of made sense.
And I had a friend of the channel, Bobby Burrell, who was my first guest on this entire episode. But he come up with something similar for hockey. And he basically based it off of this kind of the same philosophy that you're speaking of. He was looking at, there were so many teams, and I forget what the number is for pre-war hockey, which is his area of expertise. But he kind of came up that the set needs to have X amount of number of cards. It should be this big, but I forget what that number is. But great concept there, and I love it. And I really, it's not. I think it makes sense. But I got to wrap my head around that a little bit.
Yeah, and that's another one. That's more of a me thing, really. It's like that makes sense to me. What a baseball card set should look like. Obviously, that's the community conversation might go different, but it makes sense to me.
But then if I'm hearing it from another source, another reliable source, it starts to like, man, okay, this really makes sense on because you have a lot of sets that only have a handful of cards. I think. One of the earliest like Cy Young cards is from 1893 or something, and it was just a one-off. It was just a Cy Young card. It wasn't part of a big set. Not even the team that he was. It wasn't even a team set. It was just one card,
And people try to, but it's the first one in the catalog, and so they try to say that's his rookie card. I'm like, well, it's an awesome card. It's a pre-rookie card. It's a 19th century XRC. I don't care what you call it, but it just doesn't really fit the bill for me. Yeah.
Let's get into distribution a little bit, because
Yeah.
you kind of talked about in the article how availability has to be a criteria. What did you mean by that?
Well, I think that was getting at, that's when I was exploring the common rare designation. Like, and so we don't know a lot of these things. We don't actually really know how they were distributed when it's 120, 130 years ago. But with decades of data we have now and grading populations we have now, grading populations are famously unreliable. I totally get that. Like, so many people break them out and resubmit. I get that. You can't, it's not the Bible for sure, but it'll at least give you an idea of the relative scarcity of cards. And so if a card is, not attainable at all, it can't really count to me as that would be a true rookie card in that case. Yeah.
Right. Now I know, like, I've been wrapping my head around the concept of regional major and regional minor. So if I were to create a scale of 5 stars and I look at distribution and something has a regional minor distribution method, meaning it's only like available in one state or one city or that sort of thing, very niche, that I would deduct a point for that. And then, but for like regional major, I think that has to be coupled, or it should be coupled to national distribution, because I'm arguing that there was national distribution back in that era. It's a tough call to make, but I just feel like the tobacco companies, the gum companies, the candy companies were broad enough. They were, coast to coast. I think we didn't call it national distribution. We didn't know what that was, but the model fits.
I think so. Yeah.
And some would, I had an episode where somebody said that the T206 was not, because certain states wouldn't allow the sale of tobacco or something like that. And I think it's national distribution as far as legally they can go. Every state that was given permission to sell tobacco had it available, right? So
yeah, that doesn't seem like a deal breaker to me. Like, national distribution doesn't need to mean every single gas station in every town in America had this stuff available. I mean, it's just a code word for, it wasn't just in one place. It was available widely. Yeah.
Yeah. And this I love this list, and it's a good start for me. I've started. I went to Old Cardboard website.
Yeah, it's a great website.
Yeah, and I started studying the distribution method of a lot of the brands, and I love you've done a lot of legwork here, and I can only imagine how much time this took you to put together this list. But it's you basically got a really good start here as far as stuff that was distributed broadly.
Yeah.
Do you like the concept of calling things regional, major, and minor? Is that necessary?
So I'm interested in it. Give me an example of regional major. What would fall into that category?
Burke Ross.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Distributed in the northeast portion of the country, distributed to about more than a dozen states up there in that region.
Yeah. So not necessarily in the South or the West, but in a significant portion of the country. Yeah.
Exhibits was basically Midwest, a Midwest distribution model.
Yeah.
As opposed to.
I think that, I get it now. I'm picking up what you're talking about now. And I think I'm cool with that. Like, that makes sense, especially for like pre-war, because I just don't think we can be as precious with the rules in pre-war as we are now, because things are so different. You don't have to worry about if anything's nationally distributed right now, because you can go to tops.com and order it all day long. It's just very easy to get. But yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that's fine. But for all the basketball collectors out there, 1984 star, that's not regional major. That's just that one doesn't count.
Yeah,
that's not Jordan's rookie card. That's a pre-rookie card.
Oh, be careful.
I know.
No, and you know what? To me, I'm even okay with the star. But here's the thing about the star, in my opinion, is at the end of the day, it was a mail order product.
Yeah,
a mail order product was not the distribution method of that day. And well, was it licensed? Was it the first year that he was in the league? Absolutely. That's hands down.
Yeah.
So to me, both of them actually fall a little short of the guideline. But
yeah, the Star is a big time card, obviously.
oh yeah,
But I think it came in little clear packs. It was like a team set, right? I mean,
right.
that's you didn't open that pack and hope you got a Jordan. You knew it was in there, so it's not quite there for me.
Me neither. I'm an 86 Flair guy.
Yeah.
But let's talk about. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, does a pre-war rookie card have to have mainstream distribution or commercial distribution, or can a private publisher be the creator of the card? And here's where it really gets great for me.
So what would be an example of that? Because most of the cards I know of, like there was some sort of printing press where they printed the cards, and then those were given to a candy company or a tobacco company or whatever to insert in their product. And so there wasn't a whole lot of just printing the cards for the card's sake. Like they were going into a box of Cracker Jack or whatever. It wasn't just, there was no packs of baseball cards to be bought like we know it today. So yeah, I'm good. I'm good with anything pre-war. I'm good with any sort of distribution as long as it's random and it's a Major League Baseball set. Really, that's what it boils down to me.
Yeah. So an example of this would be Babe Ruth's rookie card, the M101, made by a photographer,
right,
and produced privately and distributed at retailers,
yeah,
for the purposes of promotion.
That's right. And for me, what makes that a rookie card isn't that guy printing them. When he printed out all those pictures, cut them up into little rectangles, those aren't rookie cards. But the minute he gives it to the Sporting News or the Altoona Tribune or Gimbals or any of the others, like 19 different backs for that card. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Sporting News gets the most publicity. But when they stick that card into a newspaper or a pack of bread or whatever it is, and someone opens that up and pulls out a Babe Ruth, that's a rookie card. Yeah. So I'm good with that one. What's not his rookie card is the 1914 Baltimore News, because that's a minor league card.
That's right. I love it. But here's another thing that causes a lot of gray area for me, and that is like there was so much promotional product, right? And not everything, because some things were meant to be a collectible. But to me, it's like if I have this widget and I want to sell a lot of these widgets, I'm going to go get a card created for it and say, hey, if you buy my widget, I'm going to give you this card to go with it. And to me, now you're using the card as a carrot to dangle so that you can sell a widget. And to me, that really interferes with the intent or the purpose of a collectible. I might be overthinking that too. But something just doesn't sit right with me on the promotional side of things. What are your thoughts?
I guess I'd push back on that a little bit, because most of pre-war was that, because they were trying to get you to buy cigarettes or trying to get you to buy gum. Like we think of the gum in a pack of Tops from 1955 or whatever, as the gum is just like this afterthought. Like, oh, well, they're still sticking gum in there for some reason. Why is that in there? And these days it's like a brick, you can't chew it. But in the beginning, these were gum companies. These were candy companies, and they wanted to sell their product, and so they stuck that card in there. But that's the whole gamut. That's Old Judge, that's Tito 6, that's Gowdy, the whole thing.
Yeah.
So they were all of those cards were in some way trying to sell something other than the card. And I think that's just the nature of pre-war baseball cards.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And but then like I would rebut, like in tobacco and candy and gum, there is that element of randomness. You don't know who you're going to get. It could be a common card. It could be a card of a all-star, right? But on a promotional side of things, they usually use the big names.
Okay. I'm with you now. In that case, I'm with you. In that case, I would agree. If they're like, come buy our product, we'll give you a Babe Ruth card. No, that doesn't count. Yeah. That doesn't count. No, for me, it's got to be random. Absolutely.
Now, from what I'm learning now, and there is an element of licensing when it comes to pre-war. These card printing companies, they had to have permission from that athlete to print. So then what does that say about the custom cards, I guess we can call it, from the mom and pop shop, who would be like some type of like lithograph that really don't display any form of licensing or copyright permission? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, I don't feel real strongly either way on that. Most of those cards did they did need the permission of the player to produce their image. And so that's some sort of, primitive licensing, kind of like
Yeah.
what the MLBPA controls today. But, um, but yeah, I think I'd be okay with that. Again, it's like with pre-war, we can't be real sticklers, but I think, one of the big examples is the T206 Wagner, right? Because he removed his permission to create that baseball card, and that's why it's so rare. At least that's the legend. Like, who knows the
Right.
truth to that one? But that's at least some evidence. Like, well, for some reason they stopped making that card. And that's why it's worth $10 million today. But
Right. Right. Let's move on to the different schools of thought.
Mhm.
There is a school of thought out there that says it's the first known image of that player, period, point blank, nothing else to discuss. What is your take on something like that?
Yeah, no, I can't get with that. And that's one of those rules for me that is a common thread from beginning to end, 1887 to 2025. It's got to be part of a set. It's got to be part of a baseball set. And so there were a lot of pre-war issues where they were just, you would, like you'd see an ad in a magazine. Like, if you send us 15 cents and a self-addressed stamped envelope, we'll send you back a picture of a baseball card of a baseball player. And that's really cool. There were these big Sporting Life like cabinet type cards, 1902 through 1911 or something like that. Beautiful cards, large format, gorgeous pictures, and I've got a couple in my collection. I mean, obviously they're great.
Mhm.
But just because it was a picture of a player on something released first, I mean, is Derek Jeter's high school yearbook, is that his rookie card? I mean, that doesn't it just doesn't really fly. I think there's some elements that have to be there, that we've discussed.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Now, what about the school of thought that says the rookie card is whatever the hobby has declared or has accepted as the rookie card?
Yeah. Well, in my experience, hobbyists are pretty dumb, and so I have a lot of collector friends, and there's not a genius amongst them. We're all a bunch of reprobates, and so if you leave it to us to make these rules, we're gonna mess it up. I'm just messing around, but that's called the market. Like, the market is obviously very powerful and something we should pay attention to. And
Yeah.
what people so often get confused on is when I say, I don't know, some cards not a rookie card, like 52 tops Mantle, obviously that's the big example, right?
Mhm.
We'll argue what that's not the rookie card. Well, why is it worth so much money? Because everyone wants it, because it's a hugely desirable card. But desirability and rookie card aren't the same thing. Well, another cool example is Thurman Munson, right? Because Thurman Munson's second year card is this really cool action shot from 1971 Topps. And 71 Topps was really condition sensitive with those black borders. You can't get a PSA 9 to save your life in that set. And so everyone prefers that Thurman Munson card, and it's worth more than his rookie card. But the rookie card's still the rookie card. It's still the first card in a set that had his picture on it. And that doesn't change that. So the price doesn't determine what a rookie card is.
Right, right. And that's the problem. And I think there was a day where we could go by hobby consensus when things were much simpler. But in today's culture of the hobby, where rarity is everything,
Mm-hmm.
and the money is everything. There's just too many agendas, too many people to kind of like declare hobby acceptance.
Yeah.
Because that's the problem that I'm having with the 84 Star and the 86 Fleer.
Mm-hmm.
Is that there's this overwhelming like hobby acceptance that it's the 84, and now we want to rewrite history. So,
well, PSA started grading it, and that just threw everyone for a loop. It just
right,
rewrote the whole thing. But
threw me for a loop. I know that much.
yeah, yeah. The 86 Fleer is just so pretty. Why do we want to
Right.
downgrade that? It's just an awesome card.
So, okay, so I got the first major appearance. We talked about that. Widely distributed. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about intent a little bit. I'm making a case that and when I say commercial intent, that is another word for like mainstream for
Mm-hmm.
back in this era, and that was in the area of tobacco, candy, and gum. That was the intent, was a collectible. They made it like sets out of this stuff, but at the same time, I'm wanting to create or establish a hard line there and say this is true intent, because it was designed to be widely distributed, designed for it to be a collectible, and it was structured as a set.
Mm-hmm.
But anything outside of that,
For example, like if you go to the gas station and there's a rack of postcards there by the cash register, and one of them has Ty Cobb on it, and you pick it up, and that's not really a baseball card, right? That's just a postcard. Yeah.
yeah. So I've started like a glossary, and that's, I'm trying to understand specific words, because words matter, and the definition of words is where the nuances are found. And I'm having a really hard time finding an actual glossary for pre-war. I don't know. Do you know of any? Maybe
Gosh.
outside of Old Cardboard, I don't know many other websites. Old Cardboard does not have a glossary.
Yeah, I don't know about a glossary. I know that prewarcards.com is another great resource. There's a lot, like Old Cardboard is really great for checklists and a lot of the detail work. Prewarcards.com, it was started by a guy named Anson. I can't remember his last name. I think he sold it now, but there are nice write-ups on each set, and it'll often describe how it's distributed, all that kind of stuff. And he might have something like that. There might be an article about terms and definitions, which we could all use. I'm sure I'd have to look that up. But that's another great vintage resource. Prewarcards.com.
And so I think it's pretty easy for me to get my hands on the big stuff, the tobacco, the caramels, the gum, that sort of thing. It's these other little things where it's hard to pinpoint exactly distribution methods, especially intent.
Yeah.
But I can.
Another really sticky one, literally sometimes sticky, was the 1915 Cracker Jack set. It's a fascinating set because it was distributed in two ways. You could get one card out of a pack of Cracker Jack covered in caramel, from the candy, or you could send away for a complete set in the mail and pay a much higher price, but get the complete set. And so if you look at like a grading distribution graph, I've got this on my Twitter page if you want to hunt it down, of that set, there are two peaks. So it like peaks at like a PSA 3 right here, and then it'll go down a little bit, and then it peaks again at a 7 or something, because there's two populations of cards there, one that came out of the Cracker Jack box and one that came in the mail in a complete set. And obviously the complete set ones are going to be in much better condition,
Right.
But at their core, they're the same card. The cards aren't any different. It's just how they got to you. That's one of my favorite weird sets in the history of baseball. Yeah,
that's super interesting. I love that, man. And you can just fall into a rabbit hole of little nuances like that that are entertaining. I think a lot of hobbyists are missing out if they don't get into that kind of thing. But
people get they get overwhelmed and they get intimidated by pre-war.
I got to admit that I've been one.
Yeah. But there are deals to be had. Like you don't have to. You're not going to get a Wagner. You're not going to get a Cracker Jack Joe Jackson. Like that's a different level of collector. But like, what's your favorite team? Your favorite team's the Phillies. Well, like there's some pretty cool Grover Alexander cards out there that are not. They're going to put you in the poorhouse. There's some stuff out there that's not the 1914 Cracker Jack that's cost thousands of dollars, but that are still early Grover cards, and you can include in your collection. I mean, that multi-era team collecting is maybe my soapbox for collectors. Like, find out who the stars of your favorite team are. Does your team have a Hall of Fame, like a team Hall of Fame? Find out who's in there and get a card for each one of those guys. I mean, that's a really fun way to collect, in my opinion.
That's good advice. And the problem that I've always had with pre-war is, number one, the intimidation factor. But I've always been more of a rookie card collector, and I have always just felt that the rookie cards are just too expensive for me.
Right.
And I can't pinpoint which one is exactly the rookie card.
What even is it? Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I will be turning the page in my collecting endeavors with pre-war as soon as I'm done with this journey. You've been a wealth of knowledge here, man. You're a gentleman and a scholar. I love my takeaways from us is your viewpoint on checklist set size. I really like that theory that you have, but also the common rookie card versus the rare rookie card to me makes a lot of sense. And man, it seems like everything else we're kind of like on the same page about. And how for me, it started in 2015. I started studying the rookie card. What's the story with the work that you've done with rookie cards?
Yeah. So we both got back into the hobby around the same time, and we got back into it post 2006 when everything changed. And I was getting back into it slowly, nice and gradual. What I didn't pick up on immediately was how much collectors had changed and how much the lessening emphasis on Beckett had changed how people collect.
Yeah.
I was so ingrained on the traditional rules of what a rookie card is. Base card in a Major League Baseball set. Inserts are not rookie cards. Parallels are not rookie cards. It was just in the second. I thought everyone agreed. And I started picking up on the fact that they didn't agree. There was a lot of views, and people were like, "Well, this card has the rookie card logo on it, therefore it's a rookie card." And I'm like, "No, that's not that's not how it works." I don't, the MLBPA, like I love the first Bowman rookie card dual card thing. I think it's it worked perfect for baseball because no one goes straight to the major leagues in baseball. You get your first Bowman when you're a pro in the minor leagues, and then you get your rookie card when you make the major league team. I think that's great. As long as they do it right, as long as they stick to their own rules,
right?
Which they established in the very beginning. Like they made rules about when and how a card could get that rookie card logo, and they stick to it most of the time, but not all the time.
Yeah.
And the conversation really ramped up with that 2021 Bowman's Best set, which was like so much fun to just debate and argue with people about that. We didn't get anywhere. We didn't solve a dang thing, but we had a lot of fun talking about it. And I made friends that way. And like I was a handful of people, not many. I like introduced to this traditional way of thinking about rookie cards and baseball cards. Like they had just started collecting in 2018 when there was a big push, and they didn't even know. They just thought RC logo equals rookie card. And a lot of people still feel that way. And we're not going to change everybody's minds. But yeah, I mean, the hobby is all about the cards, but it's also about the community. And the community is often debate and argument and criticism. And I enjoy it. Like I love tops, but I also hate tops. You know what I'm saying? Because I've spent so much money on the product. Obviously, I like it, but then they do stuff that just drives me crazy. And so, the hobby is about all this stuff, all these debates, all these weird rules. Like we're a strange crew. We're an interesting group of people that do all this. But I wouldn't have any other way. I love it. I think it's fun.
Exactly. Well, man, like I said, I really appreciate because sometimes you're out there and you're like, like John the Baptist out in the wilderness, and it seems like you're alone. But coming across talking to you and others in the community, it's like, no, I'm not outside of my mind. There is an established set of criteria, and like the hobby doesn't even care about the rules that the PA established in 06 that are still applicable today. They still stand. They still carry weight, and it's like most hobbyists don't even care about that. So,
I got to tell you, I'm going to take being called the John the Baptist of baseball cards to my grave. That's what an honor. I love that one. Yeah. One thing I love about rookie cards is that it's one of these things that just connects the hobby across eras. Mickey Mantle's rookie card, Ken Griffey Jr.'s rookie card, Pete Crow Armstrong's rookie card, like all these things, this language connects multiple eras of the hobby into one cohesive thing. And that's one of the reasons why I fight for it, why I think it matters. Because people need to know, like the hobby didn't start in 2018 or 1989 or 1981 or whatever cutoff, 2006, there we have so many different eras. There's a lot there. And the rookie card is one of those common threads that just runs through the whole thing.
Yeah. So I want to share with you a definition that I've been working on of pre-war rookie card, or do you have one? Have you defined it for yourself?
Well, in the article at length and on and on, I laid out how I feel about it. I guess, I'll go ahead and put out mine, and I'll see how it compares to yours.
Okay.
If it's a randomly distributed base card in a Major League Baseball card set, widely available, widely distributed, not regional, then it can be a rookie card. And that covers most everything. You'll find oddball here and there where you'll have to like get more into the details. Like, all right, well, does this one exhibit? That's one of the, you'll have to dig into that one. But that's generally, and I like that definition because you can apply that to 1887 Old Judge, and you can apply it to 2025 Top Series 1. Like it still works from beginning to end. You can't apply all the rules from 2025 to 1887, but I think it can go the other way if we keep it simple. Just like 3 rules that
Yeah.
you can apply to the whole span of the hobby. So let's hear yours.
I love the random aspect of it, which is not in mine, and it's something really to consider. Is all right. So mine is a player's first widely distributed, commercially intended card issued before 1948, during or near the start of their professional playing career.
That's a good one.
But I like you bringing in the random aspect of it, because I think that really draws a line there.
Yeah. And I feel like it solves a lot of problems. Like certain cards that people want to say are rookie cards, like those big sheets of paper, like the sporting news supplements that are like a 10 by 14. Well, they weren't random. Like you just bought those. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Stephen Benzel, you are a wealth of knowledge, a gentleman and a scholar, brother. Thank you for joining me tonight. And you can check him out on X. He's been posting for a long time, and his stuff is phenomenal. Make sure you check him out. Also, you can check out allthecubs.com. Is that it?
That's it.
That's it. And it's got some articles in there that are very intriguing. I'm going to leave some links to him in the show notes. Make sure you check those out. Stephen, thank you, brother, for joining me. I really appreciate your time. And let's stay in touch.
You got it, man. This is a lot of fun, Victor. Thanks, man.
You got it. All right, friends, there you have it. Appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to check out Stephen Benzel. And until next time, remember, my friends, that not all rookie cards are created equal.